Hello YouTube, how is y'all's day going? Today we have my top 5 players at every position, except I did not do running back, offensive line, and linebacker. I'm trying to add those in. This is like my 4th season scouting. I haven't really done those positions before. I don't know how good I'll be with scouting those guys, but hopefully next year I plan to add one of those groups in until I got all of them. It's a lot working with a full-time job. But anyways, I really worked hard on this, so if I would really appreciate if you guys would drop down below, subscribe, a like, a comment. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Twitter as well. I'm much more active on there, but let's get into it. All right, so starting off, we obviously have Caleb Williams at number 1. You know, a lot of people are putting Caleb Williams, Drake May as 1A and 1B. I've actually heard several YouTubers say that. I absolutely love Drake May. I definitely thought about doing 1A, 1B, but I still think that Caleb Williams just is so refined. He just does things that a college level quarterback shouldn't be able to do. I don't know if I want to put it that way, but he's the kind of guy that he's basically an NFL player on a college team. I mean, people are going to be like, oh, it's such glazing. And, you know, it really pisses me off. The main thing that pisses me off about Caleb Williams is, listen, I understand that character is one part of the draft. It totally is. I'm not saying that it isn't, okay? Never have, never will not say. But as far as a prospect stance, it's really not the most important thing. It's not. And people see that Caleb Williams paints his fingernails and he's a little bit of a diva, and they're like, Caleb Williams sucks. Caleb Williams doesn't suck. You just don't like him, okay? Caleb Williams has got easily one of the best improvisers I've ever seen, ever. I mean, his ability to sense pressure coming, get out of the pocket, throw on the run, or just scramble is amazing. His ability to just play make, he just extends plays. It's amazing. He's got an incredible arm talent, can make any throw on the field, very Mahomes-like in that way. Drake May, sitting in at 6'4", I absolutely love his frame, everything about him when it comes to the tools he's got. He's got great mechanics, good drop back. Really just he's probably the best. Penix kind of comes into that too. Probably still the best pocket passer in this class. Absolutely love Drake May. Just definitely a franchise quarterback. I'm very, very confident in that. I've done pretty damn well with my quarterback rankings in the past. Number 3, this one's going to make people go, what the hell? And I really don't care. Bo Nix. People sit there and say, Bo Nix had so many checkdowns and easy throws, but then won't mention that whatsoever with Jaden Daniels. And Jaden Daniels had a significantly better team. Like, significantly. So I'm like, well, what's going on here? Yes, Bo Nix had easier throws. He had lots of checkdowns, lots of running back, wide receiver, tight end screens, lots of simple throws over the middle. But, dude, I'm telling you, Bo Nix has that it factor. I can't explain quite what it is. He's got what NFL quarterbacks need. The main thing that I look for whenever I'm scouting a quarterback, I've said this 100 times, but the main thing that I always look for is, can they go through their progressions? Bo Nix goes through his progressions. Is his decision-making a little bit questionable sometimes? Absolutely. I won't argue that. It absolutely is, okay? But the dude is an NFL quarterback. He's an NFL quarterback. I think that there's a huge chance that he falls out of the first, and dude, I'm telling you, he's going to prove people wrong. Big fan of Bo Nix. Also, a very underrated improviser as well. Number 4, I have Jaden Daniels. Yeah, I have not been on the Jaden Daniels train whatsoever. In fact, at one point, I was much more high on Penix than Daniels, which would have made Daniels 5. He wouldn't have fallen any farther than that, no doubt. But Jaden Daniels, amazing scrambler. Amazing. There's no doubt about that. I'm not doubting that whatsoever. His improvising is also very good. However, like, if we're going to point it at it with a negative with Bo Nix, we're going to point at it with a negative with Jaden Daniels. And the fact that he had a better team. He had lots of easy checkdowns, running back, tight end, wide receiver screens. That equals a very high completion percentage. People always want to pull out his completion percentage whenever I say he's not a good passer. Jaden Daniels is not a good passer, especially over the middle. He does work through his progressions occasionally. He's inconsistent with that. I'll notice that he'll stare one down, and then if it's not open, he'll panic and run out of the pocket. And then other times he'll stare one down, and then he'll pivot and go to the other one, and that's very attractive. So I do see the upside with Jayden Daniels. I do like that he's 6'4", but yeah, I'm not sold on him as a passer. And people like to talk about his deep passing. It's good, but there's been a couple of passes where I've seen where the receiver is wide open downfield and he throws it and it leads the receiver back to the DB. I'm like, what? Why are people talking about his deep? Every single year, people who don't know what they're talking about always bring up something that was just said and it's not true, right? Like people I remember at the beginning, Penix was a good scrambler. I'm sorry, Michael Penix is slow as molasses, okay? Moving on to Michael Penix. Michael Penix, really good pocket passer. The thing that I don't like about when people say Penix is they act like he's not, like he's just ready, right? He's not. He is a little bit more of a project than people think. And I think that became more evident in the championship game, but Penix is a really good pocket passer. He's very accurate. I love his mechanics. I love his delivery. He steps up. He makes passes. He's got a good arm, good deep accuracy. Could use a little bit of improvement on that, but honestly, I think is probably better than Jayden Daniels. People are going to rip me for that. But also with Penix, it comes down to the thing where he could make all the throws on the field, sure, but he also had a very talented team. That is something you have to look at. It doesn't mean it's not their fault for having a talented team, but it is something you look at. So Michael Penix, I do like a lot. The main cons that I have for him is his throw on the run ability is iffy. He sometimes makes the throw, sometimes can't. He's not a good scrambler. He's just not. And then the other thing is that he's very accurate quarterback, but he has these patches during games where he'll just get in these very, it's like you need to hit that throw and he doesn't. And it's not saying that a quarterback can't have a bad throw, but I'm telling you, he gets in patches. It'll be like, he'll throw 10 great throws and then he'll get in 6 or 7 that are just awful. And then he'll get 10 good throws. So it's not terrible, but it is something that I did notice. Honorable mention goes to JJ McCarthy. I'm not a JJ McCarthy guy. I will say the closest that we've gone to the draft, I watched a little bit more film on him. I can understand why teams might like him. However, I will not get past the fact that JJ McCarthy cannot go through his progressions. And that is my main thing. That MFer stares down his first read 24/7. He stares on his first read all the time. And if it doesn't work out, he either panics and scrambles or forces a bad throw. And I'm not down with that. That does not translate well. It is something that he is a young prospect. He's only 21. So if in my opinion, if you're going to draft JJ McCarthy, I think he has to sit behind someone, learn a little bit. And then I think that I could be wrong. I think I could be. I doubt it, but I think I could be. So moving on, we have my wide receivers. I already see people clicking off the video because Marvin Harrison is a number 1. But I'm just going to be honest with you. Marvin Harrison, yeah, I'm not going to say that. Marvin Harrison is, he's a great prospect. He's a great prospect, don't get me wrong. To me, Marvin Harrison is a prospect that does everything very, except for blocking. Everything very good, just not anything great. And people always rip me for that, but it's just true. I've said that before. It's just true. Let's start off with Malik Nabers. Let's start off with why I think that Malik Nabers is number 1. Malik Nabers has got to be the best route runner I've ever seen on film. He does do a lot of comebacks, I get it, but besides that, he's just a separation artist. He's able to, I have zero worries about any route that you throw at him. He's going to do very well. He tested very well on his pro day. I think he ran in the 4.3s, had an absurd vertical. Yes, he's 6 foot. I'm not worried about it. My comp for him is Antonio Brown. I firmly believe in that. He's like a slightly taller Antonio Brown. They really surprised me as a similar player, or they really strike me as a similar player. If you go on my TikTok, I have a video talking about Malik Nabers and showing the comparison of him and Antonio Brown running similar routes and stuff. It's freaky, dude. So I love Malik Nabers for that. I think he's just a very reliable target. That is something that you cannot put a price on. Number 2, Marvin Harrison. Yeah, Marvin Harrison, great frame, obviously. Ideal wide receiver 1 size. I don't hate Marvin Harrison. People act like I hate Marvin Harrison. I absolutely love Marvin Harrison. I just think he got a little bit overrated. When people started saying that he was the second coming of Calvin Johnson, I expected nothing but the craziest film. And I had seen a couple of his games as well, and I was impressed. I was just like, probably got to be more, because usually when I was watching him is when Georgia was facing him. And so I watched the film, and I was like, this is the next Calvin Johnson? And look, I could totally be wrong. If there's some prospects that I could be wrong about, I'm sure one of them is Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm just not super. People talk about his hands. I saw plenty of drops. Granted, contested drops. But I was like, I know wide receivers that have better. A.D. Mitchell's better, in my opinion, when it comes to that. So, good route runner. I wouldn't say great. Does get separation. He is reliable, does have good hands. The main thing I like him for is a red zone target. I think teams will like that a lot as well. Number 3, Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze, you want to talk about reliable, he's reliable. He is, again, wide receiver one size, displayed great route running, was able to get separation, really liked his yards after catch, really like him as a deep threat as well. Doesn't get talked as much as I think it should be with Rome Odunze. But yeah, just like him a lot. Good ball tracking, not much else to say there. A.D. Mitchell, really, I love A.D. Mitchell. I'm much higher on him than others. Ran in the, I think, 4.35. Great contested catchability. Wide receiver one size. I think A.D. Mitchell is one of those guys that might not have the I could be wrong. He could. Last time I said this statement, I said this about C.J. Stroud. I said, I don't think he'll have the greatest first season, but second season he's going to be insane. C.J. Stroud came in, he balled. Okay, but A.D. Mitchell is one of those prospects that surprised me. That strikes me as somebody that will come in first season, be all right, and second season, boom, 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 boom. Insane. I love him, especially fit-wise for the Jags and the Bills. If he goes to either one of those, I think that's just like, I'll love that for those teams and the fans. Number 5, much higher on Ladd McConkey than the rest. I will die on the hill that Ladd McConkey is worth a first-round pick. You want to talk about just for the same reasons why I like Malik Nabers, the same reason why I like Ladd McConkey. Ran in the 4.3s, separation artist, amazing route runner, very reliable for Georgia for several years. And just before anybody gets on to me and says, oh, it's just because you're a Georgia fan, I have so many Georgia prospects that I did not like. So many. I was the first person in last year's draft to sit there and say that I hate Keely Ringo and that he should not be a first-round pick. So I do not want to hear it. Rant over. Ladd McConkey, separation artist, ran in the 4.3s, very reliable. Love him. Honorable mention goes to Xavier Legette, also ran in the 4.3s, 6'3". I absolutely think he has wide receiver one upside. I also thought about Keon Coleman. I was very battling for those two for the 6th spot. I love Keon Coleman. He just did not test as well as I wanted to. His separation kind of worries me, but I do think he'll turn out at least to be a solid wide receiver too. But I like Xavier Legette's upside a lot, and he honestly has really underrated hands. Legette does. So moving on, we have my tight ends. I really like watching tight end film. And I will let you know right now that after Ben Sinnott here, there is a significant drop-off in talent, in my opinion. A very significant drop-off. So, number 1 is Brock Bowers. I'm not going to explain it too much. He probably is the greatest tight end prospect that we've ever seen. Very well-rounded, good blocker, good pass catcher. Yards after catch is amazing. Physical, great hands, very reliable. 2, Theo Johnson. Absolutely love Theo Johnson. The fact that Theo Johnson isn't higher on people's boards is crazy. Theo Johnson is an elite blocker, okay? This guy can pass block like a damn tackle. He literally runs people over. Literally pancake. Like 2 or 3 times in this film, I saw him pancake defensive linemen, okay? This guy is 6'6", okay? Great frame all the way around. Very strong. So just from the sides of blocking, I was like, wow, that's really good. Dude is really good up the seam. He honestly has really underrated yards after catch and solid hands. I love Theo Johnson. I absolutely think that he's worth anywhere in the second round, especially if a team really needs a tight end. Love Theo Johnson. Ben Sinnott, number 3. Ben Sinnott's basically just a fullback. I mean, you can even see kind of in the picture, he's a little bit chubby. Ben Sinnott, I did like him a lot. He honestly was a really good blocker. But he does have some inconsistencies with that. I won't lie. I did see some times where it's like he would get like 5 good blocks and then 2 bad ones. Kind of like what Penix does, where it's like 10 good throws and 7 bad ones. But I mean, I guess that's like typical. It's really not that big of a deal. He's not. I do worry about a little bit, not too much. I worry about a little bit with his separation, but overall, Good yards after catch. I was surprised to see that he's kind of like a pudgy guy. I was kind of surprised to see him coming at 6'4". He doesn't look as tall as he actually is, in my opinion. But, I like Ben Sinnott. I think that he's somebody that you can take anywhere in the back half of the second. That might be a little bit of a reach to third, but I like him a lot. Did really well, and honestly, he kind of has exploded on the scene for tight ends. Cade Stover just kind of raw when it comes to blocking. He has some flashes, so I think it's something that as he continues in the NFL that he will get better at it. Pretty good hands. Very, very, very. I probably out of all the tight ends, very physical. The dude runs over guys. I mean, he really does. He catches it. He lowers his shoulder. You better watch out. Cade Stover, very physical. Has a nasty stiff arm as well. I remember putting that in my notes. He has a nasty stiff arm. He's able to break tackles several times, stiff arms. Ja'Tavion Sanders, the main reason why I'm not as high on him as others is that his separation really worries me. He did not test well. His route running's very mediocre. He's just kind of a big dude. That's all I can say about him. Not literally, but I like him as a red zone threat. I think he's somebody that you can throw up. He can go and get it. He does have another physical runner, kind of like Cade Stover, able to kind of bounce off tackles, still take it upfield. I don't dislike Ja'Tavion Sanders. I really worry about his separation at the next level. I think the linebackers are freakishly athletic. They're going to be able to keep with him. Safeties, no doubt. So I'm just kind of, iffy on that. Honorable mention goes to Tanner McLachlan. I did like him. He does have an injury history. He is older, but he does show some flashes here and there. Some very likable talent in the NFL flashes. So, I really can't complain too much about Tanner McLachlan other than those negatives I listed. Moving on, we're getting to defense. Nate Wiggins, people are just going to start thinking that I'm just putting people too high for popular, or like for me to get a reaction, but it's really not. It just shows that there's favorites in the NFL media and there's not. I will say that if there's one prospect on here that I have too low, I do think it is Terrion Arnold. I could totally see that guy completely proving me wrong. But let's start off with Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins, love his size. He's a little bit of a lengthier corner. Tested very well. I like him in man and zone. That's one of the main reasons why that I do have him at number one. The only major concern that I had with him was the tackling is a little tackling's a little being able to shed blocks is a little but coverage-wise, I think he's 6'2". Like I said, he's just got really good length. He extends to make plays, can play press. I think he's very well-rounded and is not getting the respect he deserves. Quinyon Mitchell, just freak athlete, dude. Really that should go to Cooper DeJean, but Quinyon Mitchell is also a freak athlete. Tested very well, had a great Senior Bowl, did great on the one-on-ones. Usually I don't like guys that are coming from a smaller college just because I'm like, do I trust the product? But, Devin Witherspoon, Illinois, not that that's a super small college, but they don't have a ton of prospects. Recently they have, but a ton of prospects that come out. He did amazing. He proved me wrong with that. Quinyon Mitchell, I'm not going to skip a beat on that. I think that Quinyon Mitchell, I thought about him for CB1, actually. I really like Quinyon Mitchell a lot. Very sticky coverage as well. Cooper DeJean, this is a everything cornerback. This is a slot cornerback. This is an outside cornerback. This is a safety. Cooper DeJean can play any position in the secondary and is amazingly good at it. I don't care if he's white, okay? Dude can play, very athletic, crazy good punt and kick returner. The one thing that I will say that it's not bad, like he has it fluid enough. I really like fluid hips on a corner. Being able to rotate and keep that same speed is very key at that position. And I will say that he was a little bit more stiff than I'd like, but not too bad. Other than that, I really especially like him in zone. Cooper DeJean, very slept on as well. I think he is probably, I hope he gets drafted higher than what I see in most mock drafts. Number 4, Terrion Arnold. The main reason why I have Terrion Arnold here, he would be much, I think Terrion Arnold could have literally been CB1 if he tested better. It's not that he tested poor. It's just that 4.5 worries me, dude. I'm not going to lie. I know it's not like crazy. He did look faster on film, but man, I don't know. These wide receivers are coming out so fast now. The 4.5 kind of just worries me, especially if we're going to put him in press or something like that. I feel like he would just have to line pretty far out. Terry Arnold, though, had a lot of snaps in the slot. I especially like him as a slot corner. I think he would excel as a slot corner. Other than that, like, I do think he's better than Kool-Aid McKinstry. A little bit better frame-wise. Kool-Aid McKinstry, I think, is like 5'10". Not a big fan of that. But yeah, Terry Arnold, like him a lot. The very high character guy, that is a positive. A lot of teams that met with him say that he's a great character, a great leader, a winner. So I do like that. Kool-Aid McKinstry, after this, I would say that after Kool-Aid McKinstry, there is a significant drop-off in talent when it comes to quarterback. Maybe after Sainer still, but Kool-Aid McKinstry, he was the number one corner for a long time. The talents just kept rising. It's not that Kool-Aid McKinstry, there's really not much that I can name that I don't like about Kool-Aid McKinstry, actually. He is got CB1 potential 100%. Yeah, I just, the talent, I just like the other talents better. That's more what it comes to, other than Kool-Aid McKinstry's frame. That's really what it comes to. I just like the other talents better. There's not much that I can say that's super negative about Kool-Aid. Honorable mention goes Mike Sainer still. He's a little bit older of a prospect, and I would say that not that he can't, but he is a slot corner. He is a slot corner. He's damn good at it, but he is a slot corner. He has snaps at outside, definitely. He did okay, not great. I don't know how much I'd trust him. His frame's a little bit of a worry, a little bit smaller of a guy. So Mike Sainer still honorable mention, but I do like him a lot. Safeties. My safety ranking is going to vary much more than other people's, and I've had it like this, and I've been honestly really good with safety rankings in the past. I will pat myself on the back for that one. Number one's Tyler Newman. I like Tyler Newman a lot. That's the one that I actually felt was appropriately rated when it came to the hype. Tyler Newman's a great safety. Definitely safety one in my opinion. Just does everything. I like him more as a free safety. He's good in cover one. I like him in that single high coverage. Flies down, makes tackles. Mainly a coverage guy, though. I like him more as a coverage guy. There's safeties that are really good at tackling. They're on coverage. I think he's more, if I had to pick, at tackling, really good in coverage. I like Tyler Newman a lot. I think he's definitely worth a early second round pick. Cole Bishop, I had Dadrian Taylor Demerson ahead of him. I put Cole Bishop here because he's younger and he tested freak. He's a freak, dude. Freak athlete. The only thing I don't like about him is that he needs a little bit of polishing and everything. He's raw. He's got lots of upside, but he's a little bit raw. One thing that I did notice in his film, as well as one of my friends who also watches, is that he does this thing right before the play. He'll be standing and then he'll kind of just like hop pre-snap and like over to somewhere, and it kind of like takes him out of the play. It's like, why are you moving position? Stay where you are. That's something that I think is very coachable, but it is a weakness. I definitely noticed it in the film, as well as my friend. Number 3, Dadrian Taylor Demerson. Yeah, a little bit smaller of a frame. I think he came in at like right under 5'11". But honestly, really solid. Like, he's really solid. Like, he flies to make tackles. I like him, especially as cover 2. I view him more as a strong safety. But he could play free. But yeah, and honestly, like, solid athlete. Not anything super special, but solid athlete. I did like Dadrian Taylor Demerson a lot. Should be much higher on people's boards. Cole Bishop is getting a little bit more hype, but Dadrian Taylor Demerson is not getting the hype he deserves. Number 4, I have Cameron Kitchens. Yeah, the testing number worried me a little bit. They did. His athleticism's a little... That's kind of the main reason. Other than that, the film, there's a couple of times... He's just kind of overall inconsistent, in my opinion. However, he does have a lot of the traits that you look for with safeties. And I think that the NFL teams would be eager to work with that. I do like him more as a pass coverage guy. Cover 2, I think he can be a dual safety, play free or strong. I probably would prefer strong with him, but that's just me. Number 5, I have Tyke Smith. Yeah, I have Tyke Smith over Javon Bullard as the better Georgia safety. Now, I will say Tyke Smith is an acquired taste, okay? He is a very specific kind of safety. He pretty much is just a slot corner. He does have snaps and coverage. He does he does pull back for sure, but he is mostly a slot corner, and he's honestly really good at it. I like Tyke Smith a lot. Tested pretty solid as well. Great blitzer. Lined up in the box as well. So kind of like he kind of like what the Detroit Lions have done with Brian Branch. That's what Tyke Smith is. Playing a very certain role, but a very good one, and he's damn good at it. I like Tyke Smith a lot, even though it is acquired taste. Honorable mention goes to Javon Bullard. Bullard, my main thing with Bullard is he just lets people get too much separation on him, especially when it comes to man coverage. I mean, I had so much hope for him. He's a Georgia prospect. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. I was like, oh, please. Same thing with Kamari Lassiter. I don't like either one of them. Like for the exact same reason, they get beat, man. They just get beat. It's that simple. I saw way too much in film, and I don't care if somebody wants to disagree with me on it. I know what I saw. Like they got beat all the time, especially over the middle of the field. They would run and then the receiver would cut like this, and I mean they'd be lost. It would be open. Bullard or Lassiter would be able to come and get the tackle, but by then they just got 25 yards, So there's that. Edge rushers, Leatu Latu. Yes, he has the injury history. Yes, he's a little bit older. Leatu Latu is my favorite edge rusher I've ever watched, okay? If the Falcons take Leatu Latu at 8 or trade back and take him, I will literally cry happy tears. That is no lie, okay? Leatu Latu is one of the most polished, I don't use that word lightly, polished edge rushers I have ever seen. He's got an insane bag of pass rush moves. He knows how to counter. So if an offensive lineman is able to stop him with one, he's able to go to the next. That is something you do not see often. I promise, okay? Very strong. Gets consistent pressure, dude. He's just a disruptor. Solid in the run game as well. I don't even want to say solid. Good in the run game as well. I love Leatu Latu. If your team drafts Leatu Latu, you better be pumping your damn fist, okay? Number 2, I will say I had a little bit of a battle here with Jared Verse and Dallas Turner. I feel like Jared Verse, last year, I thought he was going to come out, decided to stay another year. Last year, I was mocking him in the top 10. This year, I feel like he took a little bit of a step down. However, I mean that solely in the fact of pass rushing. He kind of improved in the run game. Jared Verse is mostly just a very strong, very good bull rush, has a solid push-pull. But I do say that Dallas Turner's bend, his athleticism is much more attractive than Verse when it comes to that. But I just liked Verse so much last year. I feel like I just kind of have to bank on that year before, hope that an NFL team can get that out of him, because if they do, he's going to be a damn good edge rusher. Number 3, I have Dallas Turner, freak athlete for sure. Like I said, he's more of a speed rusher. The first 2 guys are a little bit more stronger. That's my main problem with Dallas Turner. It's not that he's weak. He's just not as strong as I'd like him to be. I would even say Adisa Isaac, Darius Robinson. I would say out of all 6, including the honorable mention of Braylon Trice, they're all probably stronger, in my opinion, than Dallas Turner. Like I said, it's not that he's weak. He has moments where he, like I remember there was one, who was that against? I can't remember who it was against, but he actually pushed someone back with one arm and was swatting at the other guy's arm, and he ended up getting the sack. That was very impressive. So he shows flashes with the strength, but overall, I didn't see it enough. He's definitely more of your speed rusher guy, more of like a Hassan Reddick type guy, and I do like that. I wouldn't hate the pick if the Falcons took him, but I would say for straight up, like for the Falcons, not overall, I would say Leatu Latu, then Dallas Turner, then Jared Verse, just because I do think Dallas Turner would be a better fit. Number 4, I will scream the name of Adisa Isaac. This guy is the better Penn State rusher. I hate, if you have not seen my previous videos, I don't want to use the word hate. I very much dislike Chop Robinson. That dude is only athletic. That's all that anybody can ever say about him. Adisa Isaac is athletic. He has great pressure, good mix of pass rush moves, very strong. Dude has a great push-pull. I mean, like, lethal. Absolutely love Adisa Isaac. Darius Robinson, a little bit more of a defensive lineman / edge rusher. You can definitely play him 3 technique. I think he even had a couple snaps at 0 tech, straight up with the center. very impressive, actually. Did a good Senior Bowl. Big time riser for a lot of people. I like Darius Robinson a lot. I think he would be better as an edge rusher. He kind of reminds me of a Matt Judon as an edge rusher, which Matt Judon is as a freak. Honestly, he does really damn good. He's kind of an underrated edge rusher. Braylon Trice, main problem with Braylon Trice is he's slow. That's the main problem with Braylon Trice. He's just a slower guy. He does have a good build, very, very, very strong. Couple of sacks where he just pushes the guy back at will and gets to the quarterback. The only thing is, as the quarterback escapes the pocket, he's not really able to track him down. I do worry about that, but other than that, Braylon Trice, honestly, especially if he can develop some other things, good swim move, a good club, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine how good he'll be. And he also has snaps and coverage for a big guy as well. My defensive line rankings, I have Byron Murphy number 1. Pretty much, I would say 1 and 2 is very similar to a lot of people's. Byron Murphy just gets after the quarterback, man. That's the main thing I like about him. He's solid in the run, but I think he could use improvement there. He just gets after the quarterback. He finds a way to get there every single time. He uses a lot of his athleticism and strength. I like Byron Murphy a lot. Jer'Zhan Newton, he is a little bit, Byron Murphy is a little undersized. So I don't like that, but Jer'Zhan Newton, people talk about him being undersized. He's actually a little bit bigger than Byron Murphy. I think Byron Murphy's a 6 foot, Jer'Zhan Newton's 6'2", weighs a little bit more as well. So it's more so Byron Murphy that's undersized. So that's kind of false. Jer'Zhan Newton, main thing I like about him is he's good in the run game. He's able to get to the running back. He's got great awareness in that fact. He is able to get to the quarterback as well, but I like him more as a run stopper. So I like that a lot about Jer'Zhan Newton. I think he's definitely worth a early second. I don't know if he's quite worth a first round pick in my opinion. Number 3, Michael Hall Jr. This guy gets after the quarterback, dude. He gets after the quarterback. He's very similar to Byron Murphy. Now, the main thing that I'll knock on Michael Hall is he is very underwhelming in the run game. He is. I almost thought about putting Braden Fisk ahead of him because of that reason, but Michael Hall, he's a young guy. He is 20 years old. He's not even 21 yet. If he's playing like that, he's getting after the quarterback at 20 years old, I don't want to even know what he's going to be doing when he's 22, 23, gets a little bit more development in the NFL. Dude will be a freak. Love Michael Hall Jr., big time guy. He's one of my guys. I love Michael Hall Jr. Braden Fisk, obviously one of the biggest risers. Tested very well, had a great Senior Bowl, great athlete. Braden Fisk is somebody that has just that great get off. Michael Hall does as well, by the way, but Braden Fisk, great get off. Just first step, boom, he's in your face. He's going at you. Kind of well-rounded as well. I think he's better probably as a pass rusher. But he gets down in the run game as well. There's some times where he gets down and dirty, gets to the running back or helps him stop him from going and leads to one of his teammates. Kind of creates for his teammates a lot as well. That's what I mostly like about Chris Jenkins, who's next up though. Chris Jenkins creates for his teammates, man. He's able to attract a lot of double teams. Very powerful guy. Main thing that I like about him is he reaches out of blocks like no other. You'll think I just know the offensive lineman is sitting there thinking like, oh, I got him, and then the running back will run past. Chris Jenkins will just jump and get him. I saw it like several times on tape. I really like that. That's high effort, really good motor. I like that a lot from Chris Jenkins. And then honorable mention will be T'Vondre Sweat. I'm not a T'Vondre Sweat fan. Let me tell you right now, not at all. Dude is just big. The pause. But dude is just big. That's pretty much all that T'Vondre Sweat is, okay? I can see that he's kind of an upside prospect. You might be able to, if he loses a little bit of weight, you might be able to get something out of him, a little bit of development and some pass rush moves, but dude is stiff. He's just big, dude. I really don't have too much positive to say about T'Vondre Sweat. I guess you could call me a big hater on him, but guys, that is one of my longest videos. I apologize. I hope you guys all made it to the end. But if you did, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I really appreciate it. And y'all stay safe and God bless.